Hi everyone, welcome to my second daily edition. In this daily edition, I'll be talking about practical maths in the 7 rules of purchasing. So, as a quick reminder, I'll talk about the 7 rules again. There's the first rule, buying only what one needs. The second rule, comparing suppliers. Third rule, negotiating payment terms. Fourth rule, considering the total cost of the items. Fifth, choose the right batch size. Sixth rule, match purchases to the customer demand. And lastly, weighing opportunity costs. Now, there are a lot of formulas in practical maths that can be applied to these 7 rules. However, I've chosen out a few of the ones that really stand out to me and I think are going to be important for my business. First, there's the economical order quantity, or the EOQ. So this model is it helps us determine the ideal order quantity to continue with our business. It minimizes our loss. It's basically lean but has a fancy formula. So the formula for this is 2 H's, H2DS, or economical order quantity equals H2DS, when D equals the annual demand or the number of units, S being the ordering cost per purchase order, and H being the annual holding cost per unit. So this is all about storing our units of items of purchase. For example, let's talk about Minto's coffee shop because I think that's a really easy example for me to set on and improve my understanding. So firstly, there's the annual demand or the number of units. So if the business were to order too much overload of the inventory or too shortage of inventory, which will cause displays in customers, obviously. Second, the ordering cost per unit. So let's say one coffee bag costs around $10. If she ordered too much, it would mean that Minto, didn't really consider the option like finance management, and this causes her to lose money. However, if she budgeted, it would mean that she has the right amount of money left to invest in other items. Lastly, annual holding cost per unit. So let's say that the inventory space somewhere is a storage unit, but the pieces of land that storage units reside on is really big. So its rent is a lot. So for the more items that her business would have, the bigger the space of storage she would need, which means that considering all of these together, the annual demand, the ordering cost per purchase, and the annual holding cost per unit, we will be able to understand what order, the quantity of our order would be helpful to our business in an economical way. Second, comparing suppliers, or the total cost analysis. So there's the total cost equals unit price multiplied by the quantity plus shipping, maintenance, and other costs. Basically, this is just basically business, because the total cost is the product, the quantity multiplied by the quantity, and then plus with the shipping fees, the maintenance fees, etc., and the other costs such as taxes, border control, and whatever. Yes. So I think what's important about this formula is that it allows us to, as I said in my DE4, I think, it allows us to compare suppliers efficiently, because one supplier may have a little tweak in price somewhere, and it can affect us in the long term. Third, negotiating payment terms, or the early payment discount. So let's say our supplier is a kind guy. My business's supplier is a really good guy, and he gives me let's say a 10 to 15% discount if I buy an extra 10 units maybe. So I think that with the early payment discount, if I pay earlier, the supplier can give me a discount for it's a bond of trust that can give me a relationship between my business and the supplier. Lastly, considering the total cost or the total cost of ownership, TCO. So TCO is like the initial cost plus operating costs, maintenance costs, and disposal costs. Mainly, it's the backbone of businesses where we have the cost of what we're doing, like the initial costs, for example, maybe like rent, the salaries, etc. The operating costs, like the ingredients, machine maintenance, etc. The maintenance costs, which is like still the maintenance, like cleaning, fixing things. For example, there's a leak in the roof and that needs to be fixed. And lastly, disposal costs, like is it worth it? Do we get taxed on carbon tax, for example, if we burn plastic? So it's basically an environmental rule to like stop people from like harming the environment too much. So that's my understanding of practical maths put into the 7 rules of purchasing. That's all from my DE2. Thank you for listening and have a nice day. Bye.